We start today in Central Executive with some ability points to spend, although with only 3 of them, I'm not sure we'll be able to do a whole lot here. I might want to do some shield strength now that I'm looking at this. Although I kind of wanted to do the ground slam too. That's 2 points and that's 3 points. We can't afford that. I think maybe we'll just sit on that. Oh, wow. Yeah, I totally don't like that at all. Nope, we're going to stick with civilian, Jesse. I think that is the better way to go. So, sector elevator. We have a side quest to investigate the sector elevator.
Engulfed the elevator. There was something there, reaching for her, trying to make her act. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man, a hunger in the dark. Investigation sector.
Investigation sector, huh?
Okay.
Should check this out.
This seems to be a tie-in with Alan Dark. Alan Dark, is that his name? So let's go to the investigation sector. Why not? Wow, that really opened slowly.
Anyone here? Guess not.
These things... Have we been in this area before? Gosh, maybe we haven't.
Seems a lot more crowded than the rest of the Bureau.
Missing agents. So redacted 2017. Mr. Kirkland, here are the latest agents confirmed missing. Presumed dead from the containment breach yesterday. Agent Jonathan Connor, researcher Ezra Cruz, Agent Carolyn Dempsey, Agent Lindsay Malcolm, Agent Charles Murray, Agent Derek Shaw. Letters of condolences will be delivered to you to sign prior to sending them to their families. You will be updated as soon as additional confirmations are made. Also, per your request, a network engineer checked how many cases were backed up digitally. Unfortunately, a large number of active investigations were not archived yet, and the only hard copies of reports exist behind the firebreak. They're lost, I'm afraid. So, let's see, let me clear out this guy. We've already watched that one, yeah?
Dylan's a lost cause. I know I struggled to see this, but we've contained him now. I wish I had sided with Marshall. Back when it was just one person. So many dead. I thought his youth was an asset. Just too much too soon. Effective immediately. I'm setting up a new department. Dimensional research in the research sector. Transferring the slide projector there. That's where my focus will be now. The ordinary site remains as is. We'll be back to... I don't know when.
So that's the one we saw yesterday, but that was the full version of it, apparently. And then it looks like we have 2 new things here.
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there. A presence. Jesse Faden could hear it. A call. It was faint, reaching for her from a dark place.
Faden was sensitive to visitations. She had them all the time. From her guiding star and the previous director. She was the perfect receiver. As if she'd been made for this. Faden paused to feel it. The force at play here. It was changing things around her, subtle. Trying to make her act. Faden didn't like that. Her guide felt it too. Polaris didn't flare up in defense as with the hiss. So it wasn't all bad. Not a hostile transmission. It was powerful, but it was coming from far away. And made weak because of the distance. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man. A man desperate to escape. She sensed something else too. A hunger in the dark. Not unlike the hostile resonance. Waiting. She knew that desperate acts can have grim consequences. It was this, more than the man's despair, that made her follow the call. The elevator lights winked back on. The darkness receded like a memory. There was a new button on the elevator control panel. Investigation Sector. Faden pressed the button. The elevator doors slid shut with practiced bravado.
Can we just take a moment to recognize that this dude's a writer, and yet he types with a two-finger dash? Darling Investigation. Compiled by Tim Spalder, Special Agent by order of William Kirkland, Head of Investigations. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, Internal Investigation D0845 was launched into the ethical practices of Dr. Casper Darling, Head of Research. Despite the accounts of anonymous redacted regarding inhumane treatment of a redacted currently housed in the Bureau, our official findings regarding this were inconclusive. That's interesting. Numerous obstacles arose during this investigation. The majority of redacted sector personnel seemed to be wholly unaware of any such redacted contained there. One redacted confirmed the redacted's codename to be redacted, but all files pertaining to that name were inaccessible, being classified under the highest clearance level. Investigators were similarly blocked from entering the redacted research wing to interview its staff. The matter was further complicated by the lack of clarity on whether non-human paranatural entities warrant quote-unquote humane treatment. While this investigation cannot address any charges against Dr. Darling, we do recommend an investigation into redacted research. Refer to file 9820136 for full report. So, things are starting to turn on Darling. Correspondence, Casey Inquiry 2R Denis from D. Gleason, or maybe it's Dennis, but I'm going to say Denis. Subject, possible lead on the Wake case. Mr. Denis, a request came through recently from an FBI agent asking for all our files on Bright Falls, specifically on the disappearance of the author Alan Wake. Per the Interagency Information Exchange Agreement, I had some paper pushers gather up a folder of all the pre-approved files. Don't worry, all the quote-unquote inappropriate material is either missing or redacted. But I'm writing to let you know that we received this request from a special agent named Alex Casey. Sounds familiar, right? That's because Alex Casey is the name of the fictional detective in those hard-boiled crime books Alan Wake wrote. Pretty interesting that an FBI agent sharing a name with the most famous character Wake wrote is looking into a case dealing with a writer's fiction coming true. I think this is worth looking into, but what's your opinion? Just give the word and I'll start surveillance on this guy, Special Investigator Gleason. Wow, okay, so there's definitely some crazy stuff going on here then. Wake's case is coming true, apparently. Like his own writing is turning into reality. That's not at all weird. Glad mine doesn't do that, because that would be really, really awkward. And dangerous for the world, but whatever. Minor details. Tractor supplement. ID Burrow Tractor, acquisition date 4/21/2019, scene not acquired, containment location not available. Supplementary materials note miscommunication led to a local coroner examining the body of William Burrow. Burrow William, male, Caucasian, case summary, 33-year-old man found dead on his property per police report. Remains obtained for coroner's office also include blood, urine, bile, stomach contents, and bone fragments. Autopsy findings. blunt force injuries, head, lacerations left ear, cheek, blunt force injuries, extremities, dislocation right knee, complete avulsion of the right upper extremity with associated fracture of the proximal right humerus, extensive trauma, abdominal region, complete avulsion of multiple organs, including stomach, heart, liver, pancreas, kidneys, and portions of the large and small intestine, all missing from the scene. Conclusion. It is my opinion that Mr. Burroughs' death is not the result of a mechanical accident as claimed by the authorities. The removal of organs is consistent with an animal attack. Okay. Apparently, the investigation sector is the sector in which KIC reads everything. Resignation letter. Redacted of Redacted 2019, to whom it may concern. It is with great anger and regret that I tender my resignation as head of investigations for the Federal Bureau of Control. I do this in protest of the rampant disregard for my department's redacted. My staff cannot continue to work in these conditions. Previous requests and warnings have fallen on deaf ears, so I must now rely on my actions to speak louder than my words ever could. I blame this situation on our redacted, who has routinely ignored my requests for assistance in reclaiming the parts of the investigation sector lost to the redacted loose inside. I will never forget the screams of brave agents begging for us to open that firebreak. I will carry the shame for the rest of my days. The redacted has failed as agents. I shall never forgive him for that. Sincerely, William Kirkland. You think that's the director he's referring to, maybe? That's kind of my thought. Before we open that, let's read another thing. Staffing issue. Mr. Denis, so yes, there's an increase in AWE cases, and yes, it would be a good idea to put together a special task force to examine exactly why that is. However, it seems that a tiny little detail slipped through the cracks. We don't have the damn staff. If you expect us to detect, investigate, and process more AWE cases, you need to give us more people. It's simple math. Between the staff we lost in the Hartman thing and the ones who left for other departments after Kirkland quit, we're barely managing to keep up with the workload. Hell, just filing the paperwork for all the altered items we left behind in the sector has been an ordeal. Another thing, and this is going to sound paradoxical, but we have an overcrowding situation. The lobby isn't meant to accommodate a whole sector's worth of staff. We put forward a motion to move investigations to a more suitable location months ago. It better not still be sitting on your desk. The people are getting restless, and as Kirkland's interim replacement, it's your job to handle it. Best regards, Agent Grayson. Well, that explains why there are so many desks shoved together at the entrance to this building. And let's keep going this way. More reading. This is one of those episodes in which not much is done, but much is read. Cauldron Lake episode 2, Chief Investigator Denis. It happened again, a third time this year. Something certainly has it out for our redacted. Could be raccoons. The locals certainly complain about them enough. But why the hell would raccoons keep going after a monitoring station? Doesn't add up. Anyway, I've got a bureau tech going to the site next week to take a look. Next on the list of recurring problems is the staff at the Lake House Research Station. How am I supposed to effectively keep an eye on redacted Lake if they won't let me see any data? Hell, I don't even know what they're researching out there. We need to petition them again to share their info with investigations agents. It's only a matter of time before this redacted hits again, and I want to be prepared. Anyway, if anyone at HQ asks why the Bright Falls report is a little thin this month, tell them it's because we couldn't take any readings. In the meantime, I might invest in some raccoon traps. Sincerely, Agent Estevez, or any of other possible combinations, and I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Okay, more things to read. Man, I wish I would have known. I would have prepared myself for this. Underhill Background, compiled by Agent Lisa Keenum, external investigator by order of William Kirkland, head of investigations. Regarding Dr. Rhea Underhill, summary. Dr. Rhea Underhill is a professor at the University of Woodrow in the United Kingdom, where she teaches biology with a focus on botany. Dr. Underhill once worked with the Bureau as a parabotanist stationed in the research sector of the oldest house. She served with no incidents or demerits and is praised by those who formerly worked with her, including Dr. Darling. Dr. Underhill has no known connections to paracriminal organizations or any record of breaching her NDA since leaving the Bureau. Her civilian behavior has been ideal with the exception of an ongoing personal relationship with Dr. Darling darling, that appears to have begun during their time as co-workers in the research sector and revisited intermittently ever since. Depending on the duration of her work in the oldest house, it may be required to have both parties sign a relationship clearance form. This investigation has found no compelling reason to deny Dr. Darling's request to offer Dr. Underhill an interim position with the aim of finding a solution to the mold threshold issue. Refer to file 708-5286 for full report. Man, I am just in tongue twister land today, apparently, and I've got at least 2 more things to read. Oh boy, I might need a moment to kind of go prepare myself for this, because holy cow. Trench! Official warning. Ooh, it's coming from Trench. Kirkland, I am growing tired of your blatant attempts to lay your incompetence at my doorstep. I know you want this to be true, but you are head of investigations. This failure is your responsibility. What did you think would happen holding a dangerous specimen in investigations? The containment sector exists for a reason. They are better trained and better equipped for this type of work. In fact, they have admirably taken on certain AWE monitoring responsibilities that your staff are no longer capable of. This happens more and more now. And don't think your petty internal investigations have gone past my notice. You are a worm. Everything I've done has been for the benefit of the Bureau. The Prime Candidate program only failed because of Darling. You are both failures plotting against me. You are both traitors, but the truth will emerge out of you. You are choosing to become my enemy, Kirkland. You don't want to be. Zachariah Trench, Director of the Federal Bureau of Control. We can see the lines being drawn here, definitely being drawn. I mean, we've been seeing it for a while, but still. We have a Director Investigation compiled by, redacted by order of William Kirkland, Head of Investigations. This is an internal confidential memo regarding redacted. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, redacted was launched into the redacted of Director Zachariah Trench. A recent change in redacted witnessed in Director Trench, including aggressive redacted when redacted with other staff, has been observed. However, this investigation is aimed at interpreting this issue rather than proving it. Notable redacted between Director Trench and Dr. Darling has been witnessed by numerous Bureau staff. Although both declined to meet for an interview on the matter, witness accounts suggest their arguments center around the Dimensional Research Wing and the redacted kept inside. However, no evidence exists to confirm Director Trench's redacted as anything more than interpersonal disagreements. This investigation has concluded that Director Trench's behavior is not indicative of any redacted, and that his fitness to lead is not in question. Refer to file redacted for full report. And that must be when Kirkland decided, I'm out, and there we go, decided to leave, because if Director Trench is not being removed, then I'm out.
It's not working. Probably a loose power core somewhere.
I remember seeing a power core. There's one there. I don't remember seeing another one missing. Was there? I didn't pay very good attention if so. I didn't think it was in this office. It's not in here. Okay. Well, it looks like it's in here. So, buckle up, bucko. It's time to read. Ethics investigation. Holy crap. Patricia Lewis, Special Agent. It's the compiler here. Regarding the Prime Candidate program. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation P1429 was launched into the legality of the Prime Candidate program redacted by the Federal Bureau of Control. Since all known subjects relevant to the investigation used executive privilege to decline interviews, very little first-hand information was gathered. However, anonymous sources and documentation declassified by Mr. Kirkland both paint an alarmingly clear picture of systemic redacted and redacted. Redacted were brought into the oldest house and placed under redacted examination and testing with the aim of appointing one as director upon maturity. This program has produced no successful cases and only resulted in the traumatic redacted of paranaturally inclined redacted. Not only is this in breach of the ASH Act, but it flies in face of basic human redacted. This investigation team unequivocally redacted the prime candidate program and recommends that it be redacted immediately. Refer to file 9820136 for full report. That's right, it needs to be redacted immediately. Redacted immediately. Redactamundo. There's more stuff over here that I missed. Excellent. Because why wouldn't there be? Oh, I can't go over here? Here we go. Let's do more reading, because I haven't done enough today. Keystone Investigation. Mr. Kirkland, we stopped at Keystone on our way to the target AWE like you asked. I'm sending my report directly to you to try and keep a lid on this Grumman Morales desertion issue. We didn't find any sign of them here. Given their records, it is possible they've switched teams like you suspected, but I don't think that's the case. An event definitely occurred here in Keystone, and I think Grumman and Morales got caught up in it. The entire population has vanished into the air. Reminds me of the Ordinary case, but that was just the adults if I'm remembering the file correctly. This is different. I think our guys are casualties, not traitors. If it was an AWE, it seems to be over. We walked through the whole town, and the only strange thing we noticed were markings on various buildings. 2 overlapping circles with a dot in the shared space. Could be unrelated. I'll show you the pictures when I get back. In the meantime, you should send a team out here to cordon this place off and maybe get the comms guys working on a cover story. Sincerely, Agent Keenum. Let's go upstairs to do more reading and then do a thing. Tractor procedures. Back to the Burrow tractor. Still seen, not acquired. Item is not in Bureau custody and unknown. Description of this item. A Frank Elk tractor. Olive green. Dried blood on the grill when last seen. Item is capable of vocalized responses, or growls, and unmanned locomotion, considered highly aggressive and dangerous. The item first came to the Bureau's attention after the death of William Burrow, owner of Burrow Farm outside of Trenton, Texas. Local authorities arrived on scene after an employee found the mutilated body of Mr. Burrow beneath his tractor. Police arrived, but were immediately driven away by the tractor. Panicked calls to the federal authorities were intercepted by Bureau communication staff. A team was dispatched. Upon arrival, the agents approached the item. It responded by growling like a bear. 3 agents were injured when they tried to detain the item, which escaped. Aerial searches for the item are ongoing. Speaking to Mrs. Burrow only revealed that she had a domestic altercation with Mr. Burrow earlier the night of the incident. Whether these events are connected is currently unknown. All right, let's do the thing. Let's find a power core. Let's find a power core again. Is there a power core somewhere? Or are we just supposed to swap the core? I mean, I guess we can do this. I don't know that we're supposed to do this, but it's been done.
Now that gate should open.
I'm kind of curious what that did in terms of what did it remove power from? Right? I mean, you can't just remove power from one thing and give it to another without something happening. So I'm just curious what that means. I guess we activate the button and don't care. Go ahead and hit the button. It'll be fine. Because what could it possibly be other than more reading material? Specimen Escape Assessment. Incident A49. The purpose of internal investigation X0397 is to examine the containment failure of specimen SI1 that resulted in the deaths of redacted agents. An inspection report of the containment equipment 3 days earlier showed no faults. Investigators suspect human error to be the cause, yet no department has provided any evidence to support this. Technicians were able to recover the researchers' notes on the specimen from the internal network. On the redacted of redacted, the specimen began displaying a sharp increase in aggressive redacted. Cross-referencing that date with various logs found only 2 events inconsistent with the sector's daily routine. 1, the air filters were changed, and 2, an hour prior to the incident, a civilian named Alice Redacted entered the sector regarding an unrelated investigation. See interview number 65F124. Given their connection to the same AWE case, it is likely that Mrs. Redacted's presence is relevant to the specimen's escape and to the Redacted. Investigation is ongoing. Refer to file 6230721 for full report. Let us hit another button. Yay! We hit a button. And let us claim a control point. Holy moly, man. This one was a marathon for me. I need to take a break because I need to, I don't know, redact it or something, I guess. I don't know, whatever. There's the thing right there. We'll pull that on the next one. Catch you that one, till then. Thanks for watching.
I'm no detective, but something definitely happened here.
See you later.